What's up you guys, it's Georgie. So in this video, we're gonna talk about why you need to focus on building a brand rather than a store around a specific hot product if you want to make real big money and if you want to play this e-commerce / dropshipping game for a long period of time. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk primarily about dropshipping, and also make sure to drop a like. Alright, so now we have the intro out of the way, let's get right inside the content. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is that products die and niches don't. This is very important, and here's what I mean by this. So say there is a hot product on the market, for example, a back brace, right? Now it's selling well, right? A lot of dropshippers, a lot of stores sell it. And you decide you want to hop on the trend and you want to sell this product. So what do? You probably set up a one product store right around this brace, and you try to position yourself as an authority figure, and you try to sell that product. And now tell me, what do you do when this products die? And this product is gonna die eventually, right? It can't keep the trend going on forever. So when this back brace dies, you are left with a one product store around a back brace that is not selling anymore, right? And now it's a dead product. So this is a very important point that I want to put across, that products die and niches don't. And that's why I think you need to focus on a specific niche, right? And a specific niche is simply a group of people who share similar experiences. So instead of focusing on the back brace, you can focus on a brand around back problems, and now you can have all sorts of different products. And when new products come in, you can introduce them to your brand and you can send it out to your customer base, and they will be buying those products more. The second important thing that I want to say is that 3/4 of the people that buy from you are never going to buy from you ever again. And this is very important, and this is going to drive so many points here. But just keep this in mind, 3/4, so 75% of people who buy from you are never going to buy from you again. That is just a statistic. So now once we understand that only 25% of people who buy from us are going to buy again, so what does this mean for us? So if you know anything about Facebook ads or Google ads, you know that acquiring a new customer is very expensive and you need to become a master of it. So let's assume you did become a master of it and you know how to acquire a customer. Well, that doesn't change the point that still acquiring a customer on the front end is very expensive. And here's a third point that I think is very important to remember. Acquiring a customer is much more expensive than retaining a customer. And by retaining a customer, I mean keeping the customer in the business and selling him not once, not twice, but continuously selling him new products. So because we know that about only 25% of people are going to buy from you again, this means that it is your duty to squeeze as much money as possible from every single purchase. And the great way to do this is by offering post-purchase upsells, downsells, and cross-sells. And if you don't know what that means, basically is after the person places an order, immediately you offer him another product or the same product at a discount or a cheaper or more expensive product right after they click the buy now, right? So it doesn't take them through the thank you page, it takes them to these upsells and downsells. Now, a great application for this is called One-Click Upsell by Shopify Pages. I also recommend you check out Ezra Firestone on YouTube. He's the most underrated business owner in this whole e-commerce space on YouTube. So make sure you check out his channel. He has an absolute gold mine. He's the owner of a brand called Boom by Cindy Joseph. So check him out after this video. All right, before you leave, I have a couple of more very important points that I want you to learn. All right, so we're now on the fourth point, and the fourth point is you need to focus on LTV. If you don't know what LTV is, it stands for lifetime value of a customer. And what this basically means, it means how much each individual customer spends with you, right? With your store, with your brand, throughout his whole life cycle, engaging with your business. So it might be a little bit confusing to understand at first, but it's very simple. Let's say, for example, you have a customer, right, who buys from you once and then he doesn't buy ever from you again. But then you have another customer who buys from you 2 times, right, or 3 times. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take those 3 orders from the second customer and you're going to take that 1 order from that first customer. You're going to combine those 4 orders and you're going to divide them by 2. That number you're going to get is going to be the average lifetime value of your customers. And the reason why it is so important to know this number and to focus on it is because you're going to know how much each customer brings to your business. And by knowing how much each customer brings to your business, you can know how much you can spend to acquire a customer. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a product with a profit margin of $20. Now, you know that in order to be break even, you can spend only $20 for every sale on, for example, Facebook ads, right? But if you know that your lifetime value of a customer is, let's say, $60, right? And your profit margin is $40. Now you know that you can spend, anywhere up to $40 to acquire that customer, because your average lifetime value is going to break even that acquisition cost. Now, I hope that makes sense. If it didn't, make sure to leave me a comment down below and I'll be happy to explain it to you. Now, the fifth and final point that I'm going to be closing this video on is also very, very important, and that is called repeat customer rate, right? So you need to focus on repeat customer rate. If you know, on the back end of your Shopify, you have this little thing called returning customers, right? And the usual ones, right, is about 0% or 2% or 5% or whatever. But big brands, right, such as Boom by Cindy Joseph, they have a repeat customer rate of 20-25%. So every fourth customer who buys from them is going to come back and buy from them more. And here's why it is very important. Let's say you're spending $30 on Facebook ads to acquire a new customer to your business, right? And your profit margin is also $30, right? So you're literally breaking even. But if you have every fourth customer coming back to you, right? And since you have already paid to acquire that customer, you can now sell that customer another product from your store, and now that sale is going to be just pure profit. And you can continue selling to your customers, years and years on end. As long as they stay in your email list, right? As long as they stay engaged to your business, you can continuously offer them new products. All right, so now I want to conclude this video and answer the question, should you be focusing on building a brand or a store? And it might be quite obvious that it is much more profitable to be focusing on the long term and building a real brand. Because focusing on finding and selling hot products that are going to be dying in a couple of months, first of all, it's short term, right? You don't have any sustainability with this. And second of all, it's just too expensive and it's very, very hard. Yes, you might be lucky, you might find a hot product, you might be lucky with Facebook ads, right? You might make, a buck or two, but what happens when that product dies? Your whole store dies. Now, if you focus on building a brand, on an email list, right, on having a good customer base, you can continue selling these people on and on for years. Think about it this way. When you plant a mango tree, right, you have to water it for 2 years before it starts to fruit. But when that tree becomes mature enough and it starts to fruit, it's going to be giving you fruit for 50, 60, 70 years. And the same applies to business. You first have to water it for 2-3 years, right? And then it's going to be paying you for years and years and years to come. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this video here. I really hope this video was helpful and you got some insight from it. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and as usual, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.